Good morning, I'm Faye Thompson. This morning we're going to do a red-eye gravy. You may not know what that is, but when I was a little girl, my dad always helped her with the breakfast, and she always got up and made biscuits. My dad cooked the ham and the red-eye gravy, and that's the way I grew up. If you're going to go buy your ham, you need to buy it where it says country ham, because that has a little bit different flavor than some of the other spiced up ham. This is more like my dad has his own meat in his own smokehouse, and they'd go out and get him a ham and cut it, and this tastes more like that. So I think if you get one, it says country ham. We have about 2 tablespoons of shortening in this skillet. I'm going to put the ham in, and when you get your ham ready, I took the bone out of it before I showed it to you. Score it a little bit where the skin is, because if you don't, it'll curl up on you a lot. We're just going to put this in here and fry it. I've got this on about medium heat. If it's too high, I'll turn it down in a few minutes. Seems like it's splattering a little bit, but it's the water in that ham that will cause that. This is a screen you put over this, keep the grease from scattering all over your stove. My dad used to get up and make the ham and red-eye gravy, but that's the only thing he ever did cooking. I don't remember ever cooking anything else, not other meals. But I guess he had to do that because he had to go to work early, and he'd help my mother do breakfast. This is browning pretty good. This is our first batch. It looks really good. What this is really good is have hot biscuits with it. When the gravy is put in the bowl, part of the grease will float to the top and look like an eye, so they call it red-eye gravy. You know, I remember growing up, we had good foods. We raised our own food. We had lots of vegetables, and we had our own meats. And we had plenty of it. We never went hungry. We had our own cows. We had our own butter and our own milk. I had to milk cows. I've done that too. I had to churn the butter. My mother would set the sweet milk out to sour, and the butter would come to the top, or cream. You'd churn it, butter would come to the top, and then she would put that butter in a mold or something. We had the milk then was buttermilk, so we drank buttermilk. We also had a milk that I never have heard of since I've been a kid, I don't guess. We called it clabbered milk. And it was milk that had set over, and what milk will do, it'll get to a stage where it's you can almost cut it, and I love that milk. It was kind of like buttermilk, except buttermilk is shaken up and this wasn't. But I never see that anymore. I never hear anybody talk about it even. We had lots of experiences back then that kids don't have today. You know, we had a lot of freedom running around the farm, and a lot of it was great, and some of it was tough. I think this is ready. Now this is where the gravy comes in. So we're going to use a half a cup of water, and it's going to make a big splash. We're going to use a half a cup of brewed coffee. And we're going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. This is what you need to be very careful with. Don't add too much salt because your ham is already salty. And then we're going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Now we're just going to let that sit there and and boil for a little bit. Be sure we get all of that drippings mixed up together. And after it cooks a little bit, it'll cook some of that water out of it too. This is really good if you put it over a hot biscuit. See how it's browning up? That's exactly the way you want it to look. Except we want it cooked down a little bit more. What it's done, it's gotten all of that drippings from the ham. And that's the reason I tell you about country ham, because you get a lot better flavor out of your red-eye gravy if you have country ham. There's something about it that the drippings and everything makes the gravy taste a lot better. We're just going to let that boil a little bit and get some of the water out of it. And also it'll take care of all the drippings in the pan too. This is what my daddy used to cook in, is this iron skillet. Just about ready. Now, that's the way red-eye gravy is supposed to look. You take that and you pour it over a hot biscuit and have you some ham and eggs, scrambled eggs. Can't get any better. Now we have finished our red-eyed gravy and our ham with hot biscuits, and we're just going to dip some of this out and serve it over these biscuits. I think you really like that if you try it. Makes a real good dish to eat for breakfast or other meals. I hope you do try this, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. And I'll see you in another video. Thank you for watching.